It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. Your phone is face down beside you because you promised yourself you wouldn't check it. Your brain feels wide awake and furious about it. You assume something is wrong with you. But the real answer is far stranger. For most of human history, waking up in the middle of the night wasn't a disorder. It was Tuesday. Your ancestors didn't sleep the way you're trying to sleep right now. They didn't collapse into 8 unbroken hours and expect to stay unconscious until an alarm told them otherwise. They slept in 2 shifts. Historian A. Roger E. Kirch spent over a decade combing through diaries, court records, and medical texts from pre-industrial Europe, and he found the same pattern again and again. People went to bed a few hours after dusk. They slept for about 4 hours. Then they woke up. Not groggily, not in a panic. They woke up and got on with things. This waking period had a name. People called it the watch. During the watch, they prayed. They talked with the person lying next to them. They visited neighbors. Some had sex. Some just lay there, thinking, half lit by embers, waiting for the second sleep to arrive on its own schedule. And it did. A few hours later, they drifted back down and slept until morning. 2 sleeps, 1 awake period in between. Nobody panicked about it because nobody had been told there was only supposed to be 1. So why does your body still seem to remember this? Sleep researcher Thomas Wehr ran an experiment in the 1990s that accidentally proved E. Kirch's historical records right. He took a group of people and put them in a room with no artificial light for 14 hours a night, mimicking the long, dark winter nights before electricity existed. Within a few weeks, without anyone telling them to, their sleep split in 2. 4 hours of sleep, then an hour or 2 of quiet wakefulness, then another 4 hours. The exact rhythm Kirch had found in centuries-old diaries. Nobody taught them this. Their biology just remembered. That's the strange part most people never hear. Segmented sleep isn't a glitch. It might be the default. What you call insomnia might just be your body trying to run software that's older than your mattress. But if that's true, why do hunter-gatherers today, the closest living approximation we have to how ancient humans actually lived, not seem to sleep this way at all? This is where it gets even stranger. Neuroscientist Jerome Siegel studied 3 modern hunter-gatherer and forager societies, groups in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia, who have no electricity and no exposure to industrial sleep schedules. He expected to find long, luxurious, segmented sleep. Instead, he found something almost the opposite. These groups slept less than the average American, around 6.5 hours a night, in a single block, and almost never napped. They didn't fall asleep the moment the sun went down either. They stayed up for hours after dark, talking around the fire, and woke naturally before sunrise. So which is it? Segmented sleep, like E. Kirch found? Or single-block short sleep, like Siegel found? Here's the twist nobody expects. Both are true because both are ancient. They just come from different pressures. Anthropologist Carol Worthman spent years studying sleep across cultures that still live without electric light, and she found something that modern sleep advice almost never mentions. Ancient sleep wasn't about hitting a perfect number of hours. It was about staying alive while unconscious. Humans didn't evolve in safe, quiet bedrooms. They evolved sleeping in groups, in shifting shelters, next to fires that needed tending, in places with predators and rival tribes, and the sound of things moving in the dark. Sleep had to be flexible enough to interrupt. It had to allow someone to wake up fast, check the perimeter, feed the fire, and go back down. A body that slept too deeply for too long without waking was a body that might not wake up at all. That's why your brain still does this to you. That 3 a.m. wake-up isn't malfunctioning. It's an ancient security check. Think about what actually happens to you at 3 a.m. You don't groggily fall back asleep the way you do after being woken by an alarm. You wake up clear, alert. Your heart isn't racing, but your mind is running. That specific kind of wakefulness, calm but sharp, is almost identical to what Ekirch found described in centuries-old letters. People used to call it watching. Your ancestors weren't fighting insomnia during that hour. They were doing a job, listening, sensing, making sure the fire was still burning and nothing was circling the camp. You don't have a campfire anymore. You have a phone charger blinking in the dark and a Netflix show still paused on your TV. But the checking behavior didn't disappear. It just lost its target. Your brain still runs the watch. It just has nothing to watch for, so it hands you your to-do list instead. Here's where the science gets uncomfortable for anyone who's ever felt broken for waking up at night. In Wehr's experiment, the people who developed segmented sleep didn't describe it as exhausting. Many described the awake period as calm, even meditative, similar to a light trance. Some modern sleep researchers now suspect that segmented waking may have functioned as a kind of built-in reflection window. A nightly pause where the brain sorted memories, processed the day, and, for at least some of history, is where entire cultures placed their prayer, storytelling, and dream interpretation. You were never supposed to sleep in one uninterrupted block every single night of your life. That expectation is only a few hundred years old. It arrived with gas lighting, then electric lighting, then factory shift schedules that needed workers unconscious for exactly one predictable stretch, so they could be productive for another. Ekirch's research points to a specific window, the late 1800s, when references to first sleep and second sleep simply vanish from diaries and letters. Not because people stopped doing it, because artificial light made the dark less dark, pushed bedtimes later, compressed two sleeps into one, and eventually made anyone who woke at night start to wonder what was wrong with them. Nothing was wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. So what do you do with this at 3 a.m., lying there, wide awake, irritated that your brain won't shut off? You could fight it like most modern sleep advice tells you to. Force your eyes shut. Refuse to move. Get frustrated that your body is failing at a task it was never actually designed to do in one clean block, every night without interruption. Or you could do what your ancestors did instinctively. Let the watch happen. Lie there without your phone. Let your mind drift instead of demanding it turn off like a switch. Somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 generations of humans did exactly this, waiting by a fire, an hour of stillness, before sleep took them again on its own. There's a reason this pattern refuses to disappear, even after we built a world that has no place for it. Your genes don't know about smartphones or 9-to-5 schedules or the guilt of a bad night's sleep. They only know one thing. For most of the time, humans have existed. Waking in the dark meant your ancestors were doing exactly what kept the group alive until morning. It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. And for the first time, maybe that doesn't feel like something broken. Maybe it just feels like the watch,